A man in Pennsylvania attempted a robbery, but he used something much more creative than a gun.
Hi, I'm Alessandra from Italy. Let's talk about that.
Good mythical morning.
This episode is brought to you by Catulas.com, the guys with the goods. Lots of amazing things to purchase at that site.
Such as the stun cane. 1 million volts right there, Link, right there. This is like an old man's cane. He's like walking around, he's like...
But you can shock somebody with it.
Hey, Sonny. Oh, you want to call me Grandpa, huh?
Grab it right there.
It's a taser. It is a 1 million volt taser built into a cane. I love Catulas.com because you can only get stuff like this at Catulas.com.
No, don't touch me. Good gracious. It's frightening. That shook me up. We want to thank all you people who have submitted video responses saying, "Hi, I'm so-and-so from Whatchamaplace. Let's talk about that." We want to invite more of you to submit your video response.
Here's how you do that. You just make a video response to any one of the episodes. I mean, you probably pick the most recent episode of Good Mythical Morning. Mm-hmm. Make a video response. And people are asking, listen, you get people to say, "I'm so-and-so from whatchamacallit, let's talk about that," then you never talk about that. Well, because they're saying, let's talk about that, about what we said we were going to talk about that before they came on the screen.
Yeah, that's right.
It's just like...
No, that's not right.
A man in Pennsylvania did a robbery and used something more interesting than a gun. I'm Rhett from Fuquay-Varina, North Carolina. Let's talk about that. The guy with the thing. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, but maybe we should just change the format of our show and just talk about where people are from. That would be awesome.
Yeah, that would never get old.
So just change your inflection a little bit. I don't even know how to do it. You're on your own there, but just try your best. You kind of know what we're going for.
When people ask me where I'm from, I still say I just don't think I'm ever going to get to a point where I'm like, I'm from Los Angeles, California.
Well, where do you live is one thing, but where you're from is another thing. News story. Let's talk about it.
Sharon, Pennsylvania. That's not a woman. That's a place.
A share?
Sharon is the name of the place. It's not a woman. It's not a woman.
Sharon.
Police say a man tried to rob a Western Pennsylvania gambling parlor by threatening to spread a staph infection. Online court records don't list an attorney for 41-year-old Fred Parker of Cool Spring Township. Police say he walked into Lucky's Internet Cafe. There's still internet cafes, huh?
Internet? Well, no, but don't tell Lucky.
That summer, my formative summer in Slovakia, I spent a lot of time in internet cafes.
Like gambling?
No, getting on the internet.
But it was also a gambling establishment.
That's what they are in Pennsylvania. But in my day, internet cafes were like places where you went to send emails. I would actually send...
Kind of like the public library.
Don't ask me why.
But you can win money.
I would send an email to my girlfriend at the time, who is now my wife. I would send an email to her grandmother. Her grandmother would print it out and give it to her. Why?
Because this was what, the 50s?
It was 1999.
What?
I don't know why that's the way we did it in 99, but it was a good year.
Because it was tangible, you know? Here it is. We've lost the magic of that. Printing off emails and reading them.
And
we need more of that.
The grandmother part is also important.
But he robbed an internet cafe
in Sharon.
Using a staph infection?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Well, he said he came in there on Monday night to the internet cafe, and he didn't get on the internet. He just began touching the walls and gambling machines, claiming he had MRSA. That's, some sort of staph infection. It stands for something. It's an acronym.
MRSA.
Yeah, we call it MRSA. A serious staph infection that resists antibiotics.
So he goes in there with nothing but himself and his viralness, and he's like, put him up. I have a staph infection?
It's not viral. It's bacterial.
Oh. Bacterial.
But it was ineffective. Police say Parker left when the cashier refused, but was arrested a short time later based on his description. Not based on his infection, but based on his description. It didn't work.
Well, he gets points for creativity.
There's the points. He's also going by the point system.
He also gets points, yes. He gets respect from us, but the cashier wasn't going for it, huh?
Well, apparently not. I do give the guy some credit. I won't say points. I give him some credit. I respect him because he was thinking. If I go in to rob this internet cafe, gambling parlor / internet cafe, which I guess there's money there. He's just thinking about that. There's money there. There's like a stash of money. If I use a gun and I get caught, I'll get arrested for armed robbery.
Ah.
But if I go in without a weapon other than my own infection, then I'll just be, arrested for infested robbery or,
They'd have to invent a new charge.
Yeah. In fact, I believe it's completely legal. I think he completely bypassed the system. He found a loophole, but he was arrested. So maybe he didn't find a loophole.
Yeah, it was still attempted robbery, but it was just...
It's not armed robbery.
With points for being creative. I think the judge might reduce the sentence or something. Leave a comment and let us know, as we continue to talk about this, what's the most creative way that you would rob an internet cafe? Not that you would. I'm not saying that, you people aspire to rob internet cafes, and we're not saying that you should.
You shouldn't.
But, you should probably rob something that has more money. I just don't think that they have a lot of money. But I'm not even saying that. I think I'm digging myself a hole here.
You shouldn't rob anyone.
Just don't rob anybody.
But if you decide to rob, don't use a gun or a knife or a weapon. Use your infection.
Use something more creative and tell us in the comments what that would be.
But you still will be arrested, though. And you probably won't be successful, especially if, you know what? I bet you the cashier was just resistant to MRSA and knew it. He's like, oh, I've had it. I've already developed natural immunity to that, punk.
Well, I would just think it was a joke. Is this really serious business?
That's the thing. I mean, have you seen the movie Contagion?
I've seen a billboard for it.
The one where Gwyneth Paltrow doesn't look like Gwyneth Paltrow, and then you look at it and you're like, oh, that's Gwyneth Paltrow.
I thought that was Tilda Swinton.
Yeah, it's not Tilda Swinton. It's Gwyneth Paltrow.
Oh gosh. Don't do that again, Gwyneth.
Listen. I'm a student of many things, as Link, as you know, and as the people who watch this show know. I'm a student of the bacterial. I'm a student of the microbial arms race.
I'm willing to grant you BS artist of the microbial arms race, but I'm not going to go much farther than that. This is
a real threat. Not this man with the staph infection, but the fact that we have created very resistant bacteria because we are, there's lots of talk about this in the news, and especially recently as we've got more and more resistant bacteria because we've overdone the antibiotic thing. It's a kind of a generational thing too, because it's just growing up, and especially my parents' generation, it's you got sick. It's just I got to get me an antibiotic. I got to get rid of this cold. I got to get an antibiotic.
Yeah, I can understand that. I've definitely done that. You hope, because I've been to the doctor and I've been miserable. And it's just give me something to make this better. And I hate it when they say, oh, well, that's just it's a virus. I can't give you anything. Because a virus, antibiotics don't work on a virus, right?
Exactly.
But if you take the antibiotic, you become immune to it?
No, well, what happens is people take antibiotics where they're not necessary, and those bacteria adapt to that antibiotic, and then they become stronger. And another thing people do is they don't finish the course of the antibiotic because they begin taking an antibiotic and they're like, I feel better after the first day. Oh, I'm going to quit now. And then they quit. And that bacteria is left over, doesn't necessarily make them sick again, but it perpetuates the problem. We do it in the population, and then we end up with things like MRSA. You know what? My kid got MRSA. He's not the one that robbed this bank. He's not robbing banks in Pennsylvania.
But he got better, right? I remember this.
Yeah, and we were freaked out, because he had this boil. This is kind of nasty.
Oh gosh,
he had he's a 2-year-old. He had a 2-year-old with this infection that wouldn't heal. We took him to the We took him to the.
You just talked to the mic.
Yeah, I really respect this microphone.
Excuse me, Mike.
We took him to the pediatrician.
I just bumped you.
We were really freaked out, and they were like, "This happens all the time." They were like, "I was like, really?" They said, "Yeah." 2 years ago, we got 2 cases of MRSA in children a year. Now, we get, on average, 9 a month. And it's not just happening. It's happening with all, people are like, oh, well, you letting your kid, play around in the kiddie litter? You letting your kid, go into the garbage dump? No, it's happening. It's everywhere. It's at gyms. It's at playgrounds. We've created it, people.
I have seen your children in kiddie litter and garbage dumps, though.
He's fine. He's now 3. He's fine. There has not been a recurrent infection. He doesn't rob banks. But it's a serious problem.
But did the doctor say, you know what, this is a scary situation, but the least you can do is take advantage of it, go to your nearest internet cafe and see if you can round up some dough?
Well, when they told us that we had the infection, I seriously thought about taking the infection, putting it in a vial of some kind, and then finding the nearest internet cafe. But they don't have internet cafes.
The CIA is already coming. They're listening and they're already on their way here.
I think there's some kind of system the CIA has when they hear like vial and infection and different things like that. It like sets some alarm off, and then they cue into this, and then we get phone calls.
So let me summarize. In this episode, we are seemingly advising you to rob internet cafes, and we're giving medical advice in like how to take or not take antibiotics.
No.
We are overstepping our bounds at every turn, people. Good mythical morning.
Oh, you think it's a good thing?
I'm being facetious.
Before we dig ourselves in a bigger hole, let's just spin the wheel of mythicality.
Oh gosh. Here it is. Put it down the other way.
Yeah, don't do that. Spin it counterclockwise for me, Link.
You know what? I'm gonna...
You see what happens? Look, you see what happens?
When you spin it clockwise?
Improv ending song. Oh,
okay, this one was suggested by Bam! Here we go. That was a little, I don't know what that was. Here we go. All right, we're gonna do
this.
So you're gonna improv the song. Just play a little something. I'll sing a little something. Well, this is the end of another good mythical morning.
We're so glad you showed up.
But now it's time to end it all. Well, not end it all, just end the show.
Are you gonna kill yourself?
No, I'm not gonna do that. I like myself more than that.
See you tomorrow.